Hi, this is Nick, Lime Green Squid, here to make a video response to the video entitled God's 35 Questions No Atheist Can Answer by user Mac Quigley. I'm hoping that, again, that this video is a joke. It sounds more like a parody of an atheist trying to parody Christian arguments. Anyway, these are 35 questions in the Bible, apparently, that God asked of some guy, Job or whatever his name is. I've basically written down all my answers, so if I look like I'm reading from a screen, that's exactly what I'm doing, because I wrote all the answers. Anyway, this says, this doofus claims atheists are too illiterate and too unscientific to answer any of these questions. I think he reversed those words, as atheists are too literate and too scientific to even bother trying to answer these silly, irrelevant questions asked by the man who wrote these questions, pretending that they were asked by God. But I'll give them a new a-hole tear anyway. First question: where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. My answer: that would assume God laid down the foundations of the earth, and by all unbiased scientific study, there is no suggestion any God did any of that. I never existed at the time of the Earth's natural formation, which happened by asteroids created by atoms from exploded stars colliding into each other over 4.5 billion years ago. Question 2. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? No one. Just the natural forces of the universe. Movement, gravity, impact, and a hefty dose of lucky chance. Anyone who doesn't know this by now is an illiterate, unscientific idiot. Question 3. Who hath stretched the line upon it? What line? Upon what? Please give me a reference as to what this line is supposed to be stretched upon the measures thereof. Question 4. Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? If you're referring to the foundations of the earth, the core is fastened to the outer layers and shells of the earth's crusts. The earth itself is fastened to nothing. And if any sort of gravitational mishap were to happen, granted on a super large scale, we would spin off into the sun or out into space and dive off pretty quick. That's how insignificant we really are. Question number 5. Who laid the cornerstone thereof when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Okay, Earth is a sphere. It doesn't have corners, thus no cornerstone. And stars don't sing either. Well, maybe they might give off some sort of sound energy, I don't know. But, and then if all the sons of God shouted for joy, there should be a historical account all across the planet at roughly the same time in history, on the same day that every male on Earth just decided to shout for no apparent reason. Seriously, this guy's presenting these questions in an attempt to baffle scientists? I'm just a high school graduate, and I know this is utter dogmatic, anti-scientific bullshit. Question number 6. Now this is... Who shut up the sea with doors when it brake forth, as if it had issued out of the womb, when I made the cloud garment thereof, and thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and brake up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, Hitherto shalt thou come, but no further shall thy proud waves be stayed? The only doors we've ever found in the sea were those built into boats or ships that have sunk to the bottom. Show me one of these sea doors that the Bible speaks of, and then we'll make a scientific analysis. And clouds are formed by the evaporation of sea and ocean water from the heat of the sun. Excuse me. The whole swaddling band of darkness thing needs to be explained better. I have no idea what that means. And again, once you show me bars and doors that sit on clouds that will someday fall as rain or snow, thus causing the entire kingdom of doors and bars to fall crashing to the earth, and we'll try to make a scientific analysis of them as well. Question 7, another run-on. Hast thou commanded the morning since thy days, and caused the day's spring to know his place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it? And then in quotes, It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment, and from the wicked their light is withholden, and the high arm shall be broken. From what I gather, it's asking if I've ever commanded daylight to happen. Then it blathers on about clay and seals and wicked garments or some such nonsense. No, I've never commanded daylight to happen, because that's impossible, because I would have to be at least the size of the Earth in order to attempt to turn one side of the Earth towards the sun, but then the other side of the Earth would be in night. So there's another scientific flaw in that question. God seems to assume that daylight is universal, when it only shines on one side of the Earth at a time, in a manner of speaking, since it's continually rotating, so any side at any whatever. So, question number 8. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea? Not personally, but I'm certain submarines have gone down to investigate underwater geysers and volcanoes. Number 9. Or hast thou walked in the search of the depth? Again, no, not personally, but many scientists have investigated the depths of the sea, but it is so deep and the pressure down there is so high, I'm not sure a submarine has been built strong enough to support human life at the very lowest point of the ocean. If they have, please correct me. They might have, but yeah, at least one that supports human life, I don't know. 10. Have the gates of death been opened unto thee? Now, see, this is a question that we atheists ask the theists, because they seem to think that they know, even though none of them have actually died yet, and none of their relatives that have died have come back to life to tell them of this, and those who have had near-death experiences are explained thoroughly as specific neural firings in the brain that make one see a bright light, plus all their dreamlike illusions of possibly someone calling to them as their brain's shutting down. But no, I have not died yet, that I know of. And I do not claim, like an ignorant, illiterate, unscientific idiot, to know that what death will be like. But all the evidence suggests that it will just be a cessation of any form of thought or activity in the body. Therefore, no one can experience death, since death is the end of all experience. That's what the evidence says, anyway. Number 11. Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? I'm guessing that's pretty much the same question. See above. Hast thou perceived, question 12, hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest all. I do not knowest all, because nobody knowest all. I have perceived by the study of books and geography and topography the size of the earth, but with my eyes and my mind, I don't think I could truly fathom the true size of this entire world. It's not even a speck of dust compared to the rest of the universe, but we're not even specks of dust compared to the Earth itself. And we can't afford to really believe any different than that. Question number 13. Where is the way where light dwelleth? Well, in the daytime, the sun's a pretty good source of that light. Sometimes hidden by clouds, but it's still there. Not by faith, I don't believe it's there by faith, but by scientific proof, the sun is there. And will be for at least a few billion more years. Barring no random collision by sun-sized asteroid or comet or something, anyway. Question number 14. This might be a two-parter video here. And as for darkness, where is the place thereof that thou shouldst take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldst know the paths to the house thereof? Knowest thou it, because thou wast then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Yeah. Well, wherever the light of a star does not reach, that's where the darkness seems to be. Except for places where we've invented the light bulb, but we all do need sleep, so sometimes we just choose to turn the light, not to turn the light back on. And then it's dark. As far as we know, there is no boundary to the darkness. It could be infinite, or it could be finite, whatever way you're supposed to pronounce that word. We don't have the means to see that far yet. Doesn't mean a God is there, just means we haven't seen that far yet. After 1,500 or so years, because it says these questions were asked about 1,500 years ago or 1,050 years ago, so I can't remember. After 1,500 or so years, we don't fear the darkness as much as they did back then. It wasn't some sort of scary, beastly, demonic bestowing upon the earth darkness. So these questions about darkness don't quite affect us anymore. I mean, darkness is kind of scary, but we have flashlights and we have streetlights and all that type of stuff, so we don't bother to worry about that. So yeah, I'll end this on question 14 and continue on 15 in part 2.